Phillies lose this one 5-3 to the Los Angeles Dodgers in their 7th straight series opening loss. Welcome into Postgame Live presented by Curado Insurance. Ben Davis, Ricky Bowe, Ashlyn Sullivan here with you. They start off this series, a massive one against Los Angeles. On a negative note, Ben, what was your biggest takeaway for this game?
Well, the Phillies had some opportunities. They had Glasnow on the ropes early on. They really let him settle in. 6 innings for him, 9 punch-outs. The Phillies with 12 on the night. It's not able to put a whole lot into play. Not really. Some of the bats were decent throughout the course of the game, but overall they had some opportunities. 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Aaron Nola had 1 bad inning. The second inning, he threw 26 pitches, I believe it was, and things just kind of unraveled from there. But overall, he was decent.
Yeah, but that's fine. I understand where you're coming from. The 1 for 5 offensively, it wasn't pretty for the Phillies. But, I mean, you think about their 2 runs early on. I mean, there's a fly ball that Castellanos hits the center field, and Pages is doing a little dance out there and decides not to catch it. Next thing you know, you have Glasnow not knowing what to do with the baseball when Castellanos is standing right in front of them. They could have got the runner at home. They probably shouldn't have scored in that inning. This game probably should have been worse off for the Phillies. But Aaron Nola let things get away from him. I think Ben's absolutely right on that one. I mean, you go into an inning and all of a sudden you give up 5 hits in the first 6 hitters you face. That's going to be a crooked number, and it's a devastating one. When you're playing a team like the Dodgers, I mean, they got a guy like Glasnow on the mound, and they got some pretty good bullpen arms out there right now that they picked up at the deadline. So, I mean, this team, you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile, and they took a mile on the Phillies tonight.
Right. We knew this was definitely going to be a tough matchup in Los Angeles. As we go there now to check in with Ruben Amaro Jr., and we just talked about the biggest takeaways. Ruben, what do you think was the biggest issue with the Phillies tonight?
Well, it was a game of 1 innings. Really, it was the 1 inning that Aaron Nola, I don't know what it was, maybe his mechanics. I think maybe he was dropping his elbow a little bit or not getting on top of the baseball. Just that breaking ball and that fastball, he just was not able to locate anything. And the Dodgers took advantage of it, double, you know, and a home run. And they did basically all their damage in 1 inning. Obviously, the home run by Ohtani, that did not help much. To give them a little bit more of a cushion. But the Phillies did have some opportunities. Listen, you got to give Glasnow some credit. He's got nasty stuff. They had some decent at-bats against him. And I think later on in the game that they put together some pretty quality at-bats, but they just could not get the big hit that they needed to sort of get themselves over the hump. And, you know, that last home run by Ohtani, that long fly ball to left center field, on a high slider from Banks that sort of put it out of reach. You know, you have to play clean baseball against this team. The Dodgers aren't playing great baseball, but again, they're winning. They're figuring out ways to win games, and the Phillies are figuring out ways to lose games.
Ruben, the one thing that's happening here, obviously, this is 7 straight series, losing the first game of the series. I mean, how frustrating is that getting? I mean, you've been watching a bunch of it right now. But it seems like just a frustrating fact to me.
Yeah, I think one of the things that gets real frustrating for a team is that, you know, you get a little bit of a lead and then, you know, you come back out there and they bang them for 4 runs, and they lose the lead. And that's sort of been happening in the bullpen as well. They'll get a lead and then the bullpen will give it up. And so when you get leads, you like to try to establish them. We talk about this all the time. You want to establish that lead by throwing a goose egg up there. Did not really happen today, and that does get frustrating. Listen, these guys in this clubhouse, they're not getting. I mean, they're not happy, but I don't think they're letting this season get away from them or anything like that. I think they still believe in themselves. This is a very, very good ball club. It just hasn't been playing great baseball, and you know, a big part of it. I mean, we talk a lot about the offense. You know, the starting pitching and the relief pitching just has not been the same as it was in the first 2 months of the season, and it's you know, starting to catch up with them.
Ruben, I know the top of the 9th, the Phillies had an opportunity with Garrett Stubbs coming up, the potential tying run with Castellanos on first base. Are you surprised they didn't pinch hit right there, just to get someone that could possibly pop one out of the ballpark? I mean, all these games count.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by Garrett Stubbs not getting pinch hit there, especially since he had that foul ball off his knee. It looked like he was a little gingerly on it. I do know that his, Rob Thompson's thought process, especially with JT, and if you look at JT's pinch hit numbers, they're really pretty abysmal. I think that he just felt like I was going to have a better chance with Garrett Stubbs. I was a little surprised by that. I thought that he might pinch hit for him. But, hey, I'm sure somebody's going to ask him downstairs, and you'll probably hear it in the post game there, and they'll probably give you an answer. But I would have thought that he would have gone with a pinch hitter in that situation, just didn't do it.
Yes, we will hear from Rob Thomson shortly, his comments on that situation. Ruben, thank you so much, and we'll hear from you tomorrow.
Okay, guys, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
And while the Phillies do lose this one 5-3 to the Dodgers, you see here the NL East standings, the Phillies still on top, but it's that division, Ben, that's getting a little close for comfort.
It is a little too close for comfort, and the Braves aren't going to go anywhere, and the Mets have been playing a lot better, obviously, but I think it's a two-horse race with the Phillies and the Braves, and just like to see it. It's hard to see that number dwindle down in this capacity where the Phillies were sitting before and how far they were closer to 30 games over 500 than they were to 20 games over 500. And, that now it's not the difference. It's a little alarming to me, but they are playing some very good competition and they're facing some very good pitching. I don't want to make excuses, but that's the way it is.
No, there are no excuses. I mean, you lose the ball game, but I'm going to say something, and I think you're 100% right, Ben. You come up in the ninth inning, I don't care who you are, you can't let Garrett Stubbs hit in a situation where you have the possible tying run on base. The tying run coming up to the plate. You cannot let a guy with one home run and batting 188 go up there and take your swings for you. I don't care. This is August. You have to win games. I don't know, and I usually don't blame Rob Thomson for anything, but this is a bad call. I would rather see Sosa up there. I would rather see Weston Wilson. I'd rather see anybody. I'd rather see myself up there. I mean, this is a situation where Garrett Stubbs is most likely not going to hit you a home run in that situation. I want somebody up there that's going to give you an opportunity to tie the game. And I mean, his MO. I mean, people look at him and say, well, he's going to make that one bad pitch. When's it coming? Well, it just happened to be to Teoscar Hernandez in that inning. I mean, he let that inning get away from him, and that's something he doesn't do all the time. But I mean, that was an inning that just kept getting away, and he couldn't reel it in. He's been around long enough, and he's got to figure something out in an inning like that.
Definitely so, and the Phillies lose this one 5-3 to the Los Angeles Dodgers, losing the series opener now for 7 straight series as we go back to Los Angeles to hear from manager Rob Thomson.
Do you think Aaron got a little too curveball happy almost there in that one inning? Because a lot
In the second or in the third inning?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he left some of them up too. The hardest balls that were hit were either elevated curveballs or fastballs when he's behind the count. So.
And what was Glasnow doing? Was keeping guys off balance?
Well, his stuff is it's really good. I mean, it's heavy heater with carry and curveball. He's north-south guy. He's good. But I thought we hit some balls hard too. I thought Trey looked a lot better tonight. Castellanos did some good at-bats together. So,
the way he scored those runs in the second inning, kind of like the wild pitch and just some craziness on the bases. Did you think this is the ball continuing to roll your way after yesterday?
Yeah, Stott went first to third, and Hayes did a great job taking the extra base too. And the wild pitch creates a run there. Schwarber goes first to third. So we did some good things, and we had some opportunities.
What did you think of the at-bats in the ninth inning? Those three first pitches, 3 pop-ups?
Yeah, he's going to throw strikes, and I think they were all fastballs. So they're going to get on the fastball.
And I know your stance on giving JT a day. I mean, do you, last AB of the game, do you even get a twinge of reconsidering there or no?
Yeah, you think about it, sure. But I still want to keep him healthy and give him a day.
Was that Marshall bat a little frustrating, given that pitch was really high in the zone?
Yeah, because he's really looked a lot better against left-handed pitching lately. I think he was up to that point. He was like 4 for 5 against his last 5. So, and I thought that was a good at bat. I thought he laid off some stuff until the last pitch.
It's 5 times since the break you guys have scored first and haven't been able to hang on. That was like a big like positive trend in the first half. So you guys were able to hang on. And does that just make this little bit of a confounding period these last few weeks? Or just
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff happening, that wasn't happening at the start of the year, and we just got to fight through it.
And what do you think of Nola outside of that?
That was good. First 2 innings, he was landing everything, and he threw a lot of strikes. He got into a little bit, other than the 3rd inning, there was a little bit of traffic out there, and he got out of it. So he worked hard and grinded.
I mean, that thing was moving about 6 inches into the right or into the left-handed hitters. That to me is a flat-out cutter. I mean, when you're throwing 96, 97 miles an hour and you're getting that type of movement on your pitches, that's just nasty.
It was
that's
Mariano
unhittable.
Rivera.
That is. I mean, that to me is about as close you'll see to what Mariano used to throw. Absolutely.
Yes, and Tyler Glasnow, a great pitching performance for the Dodgers, who beat the Phillies 5-3. As we now go back to Los Angeles to hear from Phillies pitcher Aaron Nola.
You really hit the spots the first couple innings. What do you think happened in the 3rd? Was it just a couple, missed spots there?
Yeah, missed spots. I put some good swings on the ball. I mean, doubles hurt me. They've hurt me the past few games, especially leadoff doubles. I hadn't had too many 1, 2, 3 innings, and I think that's hurt me. But I just feel like fastball command was off tonight. Early on, yeah, I mean, they were decent, but overall wasn't that good. Curveball was hanging. There's some hanging ones right there in that 3rd inning, and they capitalized on it.
With how much thunder they have at the top of their order, is it like especially important to be able to navigate the bottom there?
Absolutely. I mean, they got some good hitters down at the bottom too. That made me work a little bit. Pay just hit a curveball, his back curveball right there for that double to score those guys, and I mean, the balls they put in play was hit pretty hard.
Teoscar's always been a good hitter, but this year he seems to be a lot with the long ball. Had something out. Is he?
Who is that?
Hernandez.
Oh,
Teoscar.
Yeah, I hadn't faced him a ton, but yeah, he's having definitely a really good year this year. And he had a curveball that hung, first pitch, and put a good swing on it.
And what are your thoughts coming into this series as a team? Because it is a big matchup, the 2 top teams, or is it too early? What's your feeling?
I mean, we're just focusing on winning right now. I mean, it doesn't matter what team would play. Obviously, it's a good ball club across the field, but I mean, we gotta, keep putting our head down and keep trying to win and keep competing. I mean, hopefully things go our way soon, and so we're not going to give up by any means, and we got to take it game by game.
Trying to get down and away to Hernandez there with the curveball.
Yeah, I mean, that was a bad one. It popped right out of my hand.
That said about the series, are you guys aware of like how close they are in the standings, and do you come into this series going, all right, we're a game and a half up with the best record in the league, which could be home field advantage come NLCS time?
Yeah, I mean, no, but we got 2 months left of the season, the regular season, pretty much, and we're honestly just focusing on winning. We're not really looking at the standings. If you look at the standings, you get caught up in that instead of trying to win baseball games. So we just got to take it game by game and series by series. So we go out tomorrow, and it's a new day. So we never know, and we go coming to the field and competing, ready to go.
Is it disappointing that you guys weren't able to create a little bit of momentum after finally getting out of that streak yesterday?
Sure. Obviously, ideally, we'd want to come in here and win the first game of the series, but that's not the case.
What kind of challenge was Glass now tonight?
What was good about him?
What kind of challenge did he present tonight?
Well, he's got good stuff. His fastball's heavy. And he's big at you coming down the mound. And I felt like, he had pretty good command of his off-speed stuff. He hugged that, down and away corner pretty well. And to lefties, it looked like he had, that down and in pitch working nicely.
Is it kind of difficult to pick up the difference between his fastball and vertical ball? Is that one of the things that makes him effective last week?
I wouldn't say any more difficult to pick it up, but you got less time to react to it just because of how big it is and, how electric his stuff is.
How aware are you guys of the standings coming into a series like this? Like they're a game and a half back. for the best work in the league.
Yeah.
Could be important, obviously, come LCS time. Are you aware of the standings?
Am I?
Yeah.
No, I'm not aware of the standings. I can't speak on behalf of the team.
Sure.
The way I go about it is that tomorrow we have a baseball game, and if we do the best we can to prepare, that puts us in the best position to win. And if we win tomorrow, that's a good thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, despite the losses in the Yankee series, the losses in the Mariners series, this last night, do you feel like you guys have been at least more competitive? I mean, it's been closer games, or is it not even like? Is it not even the feeling now?
I think we're grinding right now.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that we're just in a funk, and but I will say, like, our dugout was very good today. You know, all our attention I think was more on the field than it was on our iPads. You know, I think that we were more in the competition again. I mean, it was a good baseball game, right? A couple things here, a couple things there, and it changes. But I feel like they beat us today. We didn't beat ourselves. We didn't lose, right? Like we played a good baseball game. We also have to realize that that's a good baseball team over there.